All right, so I guess it would be appropriate if I said a little something about the premiere on the vlog here. Now, I do intend to actually do a kind of a bigger video on the main channel, including footage, because I brought in a camera, we shot. Joe helped out with that a lot, and so we got some footage of the actual premiere on the main camera, and so I'll put my thoughts in a more concise sort of format, along with pictures and video and all that kind of stuff, and put it on the main channel. Maybe I'll do that tonight. Anyway, this is just kind of off the cuff thoughts, and I think overall it went exceedingly well. I was having a little panic attack beforehand with just technical issues, because it took about a week, well, almost a week, to get this thing exported in a way that it would be viewable on, the big projector in the proper format, to make it the best it can possibly be when you're watching in a movie theater, in a DCP format. And so we had to go and get it converted to drives and put them in little briefcases. It looked really, it was pretty cool. Yeah, no, it was a headache, because I'd render it out, and there'd be like just a little issue or whatever, this a little thing that glitch or something, and so I had to keep redoing it, and oh my god, it was such a headache. And I was just worried, like, when we were watching it, there would be some like just catastrophic issue that would ruin it. And so I was just, the whole time I'm watching it, I'm just in this mode. Well, not the whole time, it was mainly at the beginning. Once I realized that I think everything's gonna be okay, I was kind of able to relax a little bit and just kind of soak it all in. That was the first time any more than, like, I guess, like 5 to 6 people I'd ever seen the movie at all, and so it was a very new experience. I really wasn't. I was nervous, but then the movie was going on, and we were watching it, my nervousness kind of just like went away, and everybody seemed to be enjoying it, so I was like, I just kind of tried to enjoy it along with them, and take off the creator hat for just a bit and just watch it as like a viewer, and so that helped out a lot, actually. And I ended up not being as big of a nervous wreck as I thought it would be. And then, of course, maybe it was the whiskey beforehand that helped. Maybe, but it wasn't. I thought I was gonna just be having a heart attack through the entire thing, because look, you put your heart and soul into something for a good solid 4 to 5 years, when you're even talking about like the script writing phase of it all, and it's like, this is that moment, right? Did you just waste the last several years of your life making something that people aren't gonna enjoy? I mean, it happens. It's part of the movie making process. Sometimes that happens, right? So, but you don't want it to happen. And look, we're not out here trying to make the next Jaws or Close Encounters of the Third Kind, or any big, huge, giant blockbuster movie or anything. We're just trying to make something entertaining that some people are gonna enjoy, and I think that's what we accomplished. Especially with the whole COVID bullshit, uh, you know, forcing. We just want people to kind of forget it and just enjoy it, and forget all that other nonsense. Speaking of which, like, there were so many people out there weren't able to make it because of COVID. And no, I'm not. I know COVID is a thing. I know that it's affected a lot of people out there. I'm not trying to downplay it or anything like that. And trust me, I'm not. I'm not going to get into any of that stuff, but I know it's affected a lot of people, and people are still afraid of it. I get that. If you, hell, in this world, when you wake up and you got the sniffles, you got to be careful, right? And that's what ended up happening with a lot of people. They couldn't show up. I got messages every day the week leading up to it by someone new who was going to bring 2 or 3 people with them, or 1 to 2 people with them, and they were like, "Well, I just can't make it. I woke up sick. Can't take the either they couldn't take the chance, they didn't want to risk it, or they did take the test and they had COVID." And so that was just, that equaled probably about 25 to 30 people that contacted me. So I know that there was more that were going to show up that didn't contact me, who didn't show up. And I know there was people that, they weren't sick, but they didn't want to take the chance of going into the theater and possibly catching it, because that's a 299 seat theater. We got the biggest theater the biggest screen in the theater. So I get it. Like, if I'm of the mindset of, like, we just need to get on with our lives, and just, I mean, COVID's gonna be with us forever. Just move on with our lives and just fucking forget about it. That's what I'm the mindset of. I understand, though, that other people aren't of that mindset, and I have respect for their viewpoints as well. So if they don't want to come, if they don't want to risk it, I have no problem with that. I got family members like that. I got friends like that. It's, it is what it is. I don't think we're all going to agree upon everything when it comes to any of this stuff, because it's such a huge topic. But if somebody didn't feel comfortable because they didn't want to come to the movie theater with a bunch of people in it, I got no problem with that. The point is, it's your decision to make, and if you don't feel safe or comfortable doing that, then that's your right to make that decision. And I'm all about personal freedom, personal liberty, and you make the choices in your life that you feel are best for you. And so, with that said, the theater wasn't nearly as full as it would have been if the stupid ass spike hadn't happened with the Omicron, which is basically a cold. You can't predict that, right? This thing wasn't when we set the date for the premiere. I mean, there was no spike here. Everything was on the down, going on the down. And then we couldn't change it because people had already booked their flights. Kickstarter people had already booked their flights. We can't change it at that point. The show must go on. I guess, right? The show must go on. But still, like, even with that said, with the stupid spike going on and people getting sick. And by the way, everyone that contacted me who got sick, they're fine. Everyone's fine. Just disappointed that they couldn't make it, because I know some of them, especially Clint, the DIT. I guess I probably shouldn't name names, but I don't think he'd care. But they were really looking forward to seeing it. They were, a lot of these people, especially obviously the Kickstarter people, but even like crew members and cast, then they were really looking forward to seeing it. And they were unable to make it happen, and it sucks. And I feel bad for them, actually, because whenever you're in the movie industry, and I'm not speaking for myself because this is my first movie, but I know those people, like the cast and crew. This is like the moment for them, right? You work all that time on a project, and you get to see it for the first time in the theater with everyone who worked on it. This is like that moment, and they had to miss out on that, and it sucks. It sucks. I feel bad for them. And I really wanted to, and I also valued a lot of their opinions, like what they thought about it. I was, with that said, though, again, we still got around 200 people in a 299 seat theater in the middle of all this. And for that, I'll be ever so grateful, because it could have been like nobody showed up. Hell, the theater itself could have had, everybody that worked there get COVID and said, hey, we got to shut down. This is a private theater. Well, I think there's like 2 of them, but it's not like it's a chain or something. So we're a big chain. So they could have easily said, hey, we just have to cancel all the shows this week because everyone's sick. And I was really freaking out about that. I thought that could be a real possibility. And it's like, what do we do then? Like, yikes. That's a problem. And just, with everybody contacting me, I figured like, oh my God, this is going to be like 50 people in that theater once the premiere comes around. By the time I feel like everyone's dropping like flies. Hell, am I even going to be able to go? Because my boy got sick a couple weeks ago, and, luckily it only lasted like a day, and I didn't get sick after, from it. But when he was sick that day, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to be able to go. you always think like the worst case scenarios and stuff in your head when you're this is your baby. It's hard to not let the negativity and worst case scenarios get into your mind. It's just, at least it is for me. I couldn't exactly picture it when this whole thing was conceived a few years ago. What it was going to be like. Certainly didn't think it was going to be like that with masks and people not being able to come because they got sick and all that other stuff. But you take all that away, it is how I envisioned it, and it was pretty much how I saw everything coming together, and it was surreal in a way, and went by really quick. Like that's the quickest I've ever watched the movie, and it just zoomed by, and it felt like the night was just over before I knew it. But nothing but good things. We had people that they didn't know who we were. Somebody who did know who we were bought tickets to go to the show, and they didn't want to go by themselves, so they brought a friend or whatever, and that friend had never watched us, and both times both of those scenarios, they really, really liked it. In fact, one of them liked it enough where they bought shirts afterwards. So I don't know. I think that's a good sign. Like, you have random people who don't know who we are liking the movie. I think that's a really, really good sign, because I think everyone who is a Kickstarter backer is pretty much going to enjoy it. I mean, not everyone. You're never going to get 100%, but I do think there's a good fair amount. Most is probably going to enjoy it, but to get other people who have absolutely no invested interest in this sort of thing, or know who we are, or afraid to hurt our feelings or anything like that, when they're liking it, that's a good sign. So the more people we can get like that, I guess the better. And I was super thrilled with that. And I wasn't planning on dressing up either. I was just gonna go and like basically like what this is, but then I was having cast members, cast members, like the real actors that we auditioned and had play roles on the movie, not the YouTubers, who have done this many times, ask me, "Hey, what's the dress code?" And I'm like, "Dress code? Is there usually a dress code at these things?" And then I start thinking about every visual image of like premieres I've ever seen, and people are generally dressed pretty decently, better dressed up than we are ever. And I'm like, oh yeah, maybe. So I didn't say, I go like, there's no dress code, but I think most people, if they want to dress up, then sure, dress up. And then we got to talk, and I was like, well, if everyone else is going to dress up, we should probably dress up too. So you got to understand, like, the cast members, this is, again, what I was saying before, this is their night. This is their night. This is what they, this is, unless you're in that position, it's kind of hard to explain. But I guess you can kind of understand it just from an intellectual standpoint. Like, you're working really, really hard on a project for a few weeks, and then this is the chance to actually see yourself on the big screen. So all the real actors that we got on this thing, the local actors, they were just, this is what they live for. That moment to finally see themselves up there in the performing arts. So they like to make an event out of it, dress up and look nice, and have a nice time. And I totally get that. I understand that. This is not something that I'm used to, so I was like taken by surprise, but not really surprised. It was kind of like one of those things. It's like, well, yeah, duh. Like, how did I not think about that? Of course people are going to want to dress up. And so after that, I was like, well, I don't have a suit. Like, I literally had no suit, but I did have a tux, and because of some event I had to go to like years ago. So I'm like, well, I guess I can wear the tux, because I wasn't going to go out and spend the money on a new suit. Wasn't going to do it just for something I'm going to wear one night, and I've never needed an actual suit for a long time now. So I just went ahead. I was like, I'll just wear the tux. Yeah, sure, I'm a little overdressed compared to everybody else, but whatever. It's nicer than like this, so I'll just rock that, and if one day there's another one, I'll get a suit, but I'm not going to spend the money on this. I need to buy some more plugins for the for the editing software DaVinci, so I can finish up the digital downloads for everybody. So let me spend the money on that, several $100s. But anyway, I am I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope everybody that went to the premiere, if you went to the premiere, look, just honest opinions down below. Anyway, thank you everybody, and I'll put up that video with the footage of everything here pretty soon. So have a good one.